Heyo, it's me, Harper Savage, and today I got the sketchbook out because it's time for another Fungurary. Alright, so let's see what we got for week 3 Immortal. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so the first sketch and kind of the third sketch are very similar looking, where we have a unicorn peeking out kind of from the lion's mane mushroom. And that's kind of what the third sketch is too, but I think my ideas were slightly different, where I think the unicorn was supposed to like have mushroom elements on them. And for this one, I was like, it's just a unicorn surrounded by mushrooms. And then we have the middle image here, which is a lot more thought out, where we have a unicorn resting in a mushroom field surrounded by trees and mushrooms. Now, this looks like the more, rendered idea here, and it's the one I want to do, but I had a lot of issues the past couple days, so I think I'm gonna go with a simpler design of the unicorn kind of peeking out and there being mushrooms like surrounding them instead of having like a full illustration here. So let's get to a blank page. Oh my god, I have room for my whole sketchbook to be on the desk. It's amazing. As usual, starting with a circle. I kind of wanted like more of a hook horn instead of like the typical coil straight up and down horn. Make it a little more interesting. Maybe I should pull up a horse reference just so I know what I'm trying to draw here. Oops, I spelled horse wrong. Oh my god. I like the idea of like a really fluffy unicorn. I think I want the ear a little bit further back. Erase, 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 erase. If you're wondering what's happening here, I will probably address it in the voiceover portion of the digital art, so hold on tight if you want to know what's happening. I'm gonna draw it very much not like a realistic horse, okay? Somewhat realistic, proportionately wise. Like, the ears are definitely bigger than they need to be. I never know how to make horses look delicate. Like, I feel like the only way I do it is like by closing their eyes, because I have drawn unicorns before and their eye is always closed, and that's like the style. Whenever you see unicorns, it's like they got the closed eye for some reason. But I don't want to do that this time. Give them luscious lashes. Don't want them to look too human either, though. You also kind of want them to have a little bit of a goatee. Reach that chin, I guess. Looks a little weird right now without any of the mane. Also kind of thinking more like wavy hair, too. It's a little weird without there being a chin line. Maybe thicker neck. Something about this is still not right. Could be the ears being super big, too. Did that help? I don't think it did. Maybe it's like the position, but I'm using a reference and that's kind of where they are on the head, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it quite right still. Feels like the nose is too long now that the ears are further back. I like where the ears are now though. Maybe I should like go between the two snoots I drew here. All right, let's draw like a tree in here, or 7, whatever. I might want to like make the unicorn a bit lower in the digital version because I had plans to like have like a rainbow flare, a glowing light coming from the horn here. So it looks like they're kind of lighting their own way. I do wish I could have drawn the whole unicorn, I'm not gonna lie, because the funnest part for me about unicorns is kind of like their tails. But I guess I could try to just have fun with their mane. Oh my god, let me not throw my phone, holy crap. Okay, so one of the mushrooms is a lion's mane, and they're just kind of like wiggly looking, and they grow on like a cluster type of deal. I went to a store and I saw like little baby versions of them because apparently you can eat them. They were like in the produce section. It was weird. I'm like, hey, I'm about to draw that. They honestly like look like icicles. I'm not super loving how I did the mane. I like how I did the beard. I want the mane to be like more interesting and flowy looking. I wanted more like a wavy look, but I don't think I can achieve both of those things. This is getting very anime looking, right? Am I imagining it? There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just not what I was expecting to happen. I almost like don't want a tree here now. I want to have space for all this flowing hair. Yeah, it feels like the mane doesn't match the beard. Okay, this foreground tree is now a background tree. Kind of hoping it'd be more of a peaking situation, but I guess it's fine. This is like the most fluffiest unicorn horse that's ever existed. Probably not, but still. Like, do I want one like curling in front of the eye? Yes, I do. Trying to make the mouth more horse looking. It's impossible. I think my idea is too big for this. Whereas like I want mushrooms everywhere, but also what if a frame? Because it'd be cool to have like mushrooms in the corners. I don't even know what mushroom I'm basing this off of right this second, but I'm just trying stuff, okay? I got like a circle shape happening here. And maybe I fill like the other space around with mushrooms and like it be nonsensical, like stop trying to throw logic onto mythical things, you know? Let me take a look at the mushrooms for this prompt again. Then over here we got the elegant blue. Like I'm thinking about filling in everywhere around the circle and having some background thing happening. I don't know. I usually go with mist and stuff and stars. But I want to have like the unicorn. Maybe the unicorn's not in the circle. Ever think about that? Like maybe the circle is more of a guide and not like an absolute. I was like, these lines means I kind of like how it's overlapping the circle. I'll erase these for right now. I did like them, but I think if this is going to be blue here, I should probably add some more colored mushrooms. Unless I don't intend on making the unicorn white, which that's an option. What if we made like a black unicorn? Have we done that? That's a thing, right? Or like a dark blue? Something cool and mysterious colored, right? I do like the lines. Maybe we should make it come up more too. Because we have all this like texture over here. We should have some over here to balance it out some. We could do some oysters. I have drawn that before for Fungurary though. I was trying to avoid ones I have drawn before, but it's whatever. Because the oyster mushrooms come in a couple different colors, so it might be fun to just color it to match what's going on here. And then I don't know what I want to do with the background yet, but you know, stars and twinkles are usually my filler. All right, let me get this onto my iPad so we can do the digital portion now. I got everything onto my iPad, so let's get started here. Okay, so as usual, I did most of the sketching in between cuts here, but I wanted to show you guys what I did change. I realized the mane looked like it was coming from the crown of the head instead of like the neck. So I just rotated the angle I had the sketch on, really. And then we get into the line art. Same process as it always is. Line art, coloring, final touches, you know. You should know by now. But I guess maybe I should start talking about what's going on here. Why does my setup look a little bit different? Why does the mic sound different? And that is because my computer died. We fear it is because of a BIOS update that happened. I happened to catch it one night doing it before shutdown. I've never seen one before personally, so I asked Knock if that was normal. She's like, yeah, it's fine. And ever since that update, my computer had not been working the same. We thought it was originally my camera that wasn't working, but it turns out it was something about the whole computer that wasn't working. It's an Asus, if anyone cares. I don't know if they have like a major issue in general happening right now, but yeah, it's a little annoying. Before I keep talking about that, I want to go over some stuff about the drawing here. I left in this part of the video just because I spent a lot of time on this. But don't get too attached to these oyster mushrooms in the corner here. I do change them. Same goes for the elegant blue web caps in the left corner. I completely changed those. I actually basically change all of the mushrooms except for the lion's mane ones. And you'll see that once we reveal the sketch. I do cut out me sketching it again because don't want this video to be 10 hours long. You could tell I was really indecisive because I kept changing the sketch and changing my mind about the mushrooms. I was just in a really bad headspace when I was trying to record for this video because I had to scramble to get everything set up on this computer out here. This is our shared computer that's out in our living room. So it's good for streaming. It is good for recording too. It's just not good for art. Because nothing is out here. All of my art supplies is in my room with my main setup. So that's why there's a different background and a different sound to the mic, because this is not my normal mic. It's not set up for me. It's set up for somebody else who has a different-ish sounding voice. and I could not be bothered to figure out what I needed to do to make the mic sounding good because, again, I am behind on videos, and I was going to be ahead on videos and editing if I had been able to record the night my computer died. I'm not exactly happy about this. My computer is still under warranty, so we did call the tech support and they informed us that we have to send it in for repairs. Now my sister, Knock, has worked in IT. That's like what her degree is for, and she could not figure out what was wrong with it, and it basically, what she is calling bricked itself. It won't turn on. Like, it won't get past the F7, F10 screen, and we can't even push those buttons to make anything happen. So it's very frustrating for me because I also don't have a whole lot of money right now. You know, taxes are due, and my cat needs his shots, and I have bills. So I'm kind of like having an anxiety attack because I don't know how I'm going to pay for all this stuff on top of possibly needing a new computer. So, you know, I'm having a great start to this year, as you can imagine. Between getting so sick I couldn't record or edit anything, and then my dog passing away, and now my computer, like, totally dying. So, yay. So, just be aware some of the videos that are going to come out are going to be from this setup. I'm going to try to make the best of it. Maybe I won't post as much for a little bit here, which sucks because I feel like since I had to take that break at the beginning of the year from being sick, YouTube hasn't been pushing my content in the algorithm because it's like, oh, you weren't uploading, so you're dead to us, you know? It's really tough. I'm trying to not be upset over it, but as you can imagine, having so many bad things happen to you at once, it's not easy to just keep smiling sometimes. But this is actually my old desk that I used to have in my room when I lived with my parents. It's like a 73-inch desk. So there's a lot of space for me to be out here. It's not like I'm cramped on my 42-inch desk in my bedroom. There is a setup for Chi to sit out here too. He's not used to it yet, so he's not really interested in sitting out here with me yet. I'm hoping to turn this into a good thing and being like, well, I've been meaning to set up my stream stuff to stream out here for a while now because I can't do diamond painting in my room. Like, I can't do huge projects at my regular setup because my desk, again, is only like 40 inches. And some of the diamond paintings are bigger than that. Plus, I, have my art supplies and I have my computer stuff on my desk. So it's very limited space. And, this has a lot more space. So I'm hoping to eventually get into streaming stuff that I've been putting off because I didn't have the space for it in my personal stream setup area. The only thing about being out here for recording and streaming is that it is a shared space. It's a shared computer, so I can't do stuff whenever I want because, I have to share the computer with Nock. She streams out here, so I can't just switch to being out here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to get a computer eventually. I'm really hoping they will just fix whatever's wrong with my old computer. And don't worry, Nock did back up the important things like some video files and graphics and projects I was working on. So I'm not really worried about losing stuff. I'm more just worried about losing time, really. But back to the artwork. I'm a lot happier with where it ended up in the end. I'm glad I changed the mushrooms. Even though it was a lot of extra work, I did do a lot of changes to this drawing. Like, I changed how the mane looked quite a few times. And when I get to coloring the unicorn, I actually cut out probably 40 minutes of me trying to figure out how I wanted to color this thing. Because in my head, I wanted it to have like green shines to look like it was a metallic blue unicorn because of a image I saw. It's like a glass image of a unicorn, like an Amazon product, really. And it looked really cool being all that like metallic-y colors and stuff. I was trying to mimic that, but I couldn't. So I eventually ended up shading it in a way that I knew how to shade it instead. And to be honest, my favorite part was probably coloring the mane on this one. I just like coloring hair. Or fur? Is it hair if it's on a horse? I'm not actually sure. But I do have a lot of fun coloring that stuff, and it's a shame because I don't really draw that many characters anymore. I kind of do want to get back into drawing characters. It was actually my New Year's resolution for last year, and I did a couple, and I was like, okay, done. I just go through phases where I want to draw characters, and that phase sometimes lasts a while, and sometimes it's like one drawing and I'm done for 2 years. I do miss it though. I miss having the OCs and stories in my head, but I decided realistically it was a little bit pointless to have the characters go nowhere, which is why I stopped, because I'm like, I don't know how to write. I'm not good at that stuff, so it just didn't make sense to keep like having a story in my head, you know? But I really am glad I went with a like darker colored unicorn so it wasn't so cliche. It looks really cool against like the background and everything once it's all done. Gives it a real like mysterious kind of look to it. And honestly, I don't know why I went with a unicorn for this one other than the Immortal prompt. I feel like unicorn could have probably worked a lot better for fairy tale. But, you know, I had another idea for that, so. But everything really comes together when I do the highlights and the shading on the mane. I think it looks really cool. And also when I color in the horn finally. God, I saved that for last because it's like one of the best parts. Other than the background, of course. I did use a special customized brush that I made for part of the background. Maybe I'll remember to put a link to it in the description because I just followed like a tutorial on how to make it, I think. I could be wrong. I also decided to get rid of like that mist I had put over top of everything and went with more of a, what is it called, a beignet, like the dark outline around stuff. Alright, I'm all done. So that's going to be it for me today. If you guys want to watch the last Fungurary, you could tap the thumbnail here. Want to catch up on anything you missed, you could tap the thumbnail here. Want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to do all the cool YouTube things of commenting, liking, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!